this is a question I was going to ask, and also Frank Kalberg is asking, which is, how do you create that atmosphere of psychological safety? Because, I work with a lot of senior leaders, and all of them would say, oh, absolutely, people can bring me, anything. But then like the next meeting, it's don't bring me a problem without a solution, or, oh, well, we don't, no, that's not part of what we're doing. And so whether it's intentional or unintentional, there are many, many ways to shut down conversation. And you seem to have figured out a way around that. And you have a principle called Say Jay.
Well, it's not a principle. It's actually, it's what we call our all hands meetings.
Okay.
And we've been doing them for 12 years. Every week, there were about 15 minutes. It's where we introduce new employees. And I would just tell people what's happening. Jay would say, so we call them Say Jay, and people could ask any question they want. Any question I would answer. So that was a way to give people a voice. And we had 2 different locations, and that was the original reason for it. It wasn't this enlightened view that I had as a CEO about how to get buy-in and things like that. I had 2 offices. I wanted to talk to them at the same time. We used Skype, and that was it. And then it worked into some really great bonding and collaboration, because all employees would not just introduce themselves, they would have to either tell a joke, sing a song, or dance as their introduction. And some of them are questionable, but most of them are hilarious and really good. And if you can go out there and do that kind of thing and be safe and get applause no matter what you do, that's like your first week or 2 on the job. You're out there singing, dancing, or telling a joke. And it worked into people elevating into doing skits, and like the whole training class would do a skit together. And some of it is just so good. You have no idea what these people can do. That's not just about telling people who they are, but it's saying, look who I am as a person. Because we believe that if you can help people become a better person, then results will ensue. And their engagement will be much, much greater. So it's just little things like that. Now, am I perfect about doing that? No, we all have biases. We all react in certain, I'm sure my eyebrow or my roll my eyes or do something like that. Unconsciously, but generally my intent is to always allow debate. Now, that also doesn't mean that I won't debate back. And that's something I've had to learn to do better, because when the CEO starts debating you most of the time you get very deferential, most people. And I don't want that. I want them to actually debate the idea with me. And I really, for many years, didn't realize that inherent in the role came this dominance that you can't really avoid, even though I didn't want that. There was this term people had for when I would go around, walking around and talk to people. And I just ask them these, to me, were just curious questions, innocuous questions. And then they would freeze, or they would make something up because they didn't know what to say. So they figured they better say something, and it was wrong. And I would use that information to base decisions on, or question to go to their supervisor. So-and-so told me about this. Is that right? Goes, no, they were jade. They said, you've been jade. And all that was me asking a question. And then they froze and told me some kind of BS just so they wouldn't feel bad. And it had just the opposite effect.
Mm-hmm.
So well, I'm not as good as I say I am, but I have the right intent.